Hello, beautiful people. Rachael, Keir here, um, talking from the Sacred Valley in Peru. I just want to share with you my medicine journey. So, for the past week, I've been working with a plant medicine called San Pedro, also known as Wuachuma. Um, I'd never heard of this plant before until around about 3 months ago. And I've been working with plants in remedies, in tinctures, in medicine for a while, but I've never actually used a plant um, like San Pedro. And I think another one that's highly up there is ayahuasca. I've never used ayahuasca before because I believe that I will receive an invitation through spirit and then I will go. So anyway, I just want to share with you my experience. So I've had 3 ceremonies. I first heard about San Pedro and I'd been thinking about it for a while, and then I was in Ecuador and I was lying under a tree and I picked up a flower, and this white light came through the flower, and it was San Pedro. That's what I felt. And it said, we're waiting for you. You have our blessings, come over. So with that invitation, I felt confident in partaking in the ceremony. So I get to Cusco, and I thought I won't go looking for it. I'm just going to open myself up to it and I'm going to see what feels right. So I'm in Cusco and I go to a yoga class, and I'm the first person there. And there's like this knock at the door, and I stick my head out the window over the balcony, and it's this girl, and me and her, we just lock eyes, and I let her in, or the other lady lets her in, and she comes up, and we're wearing pretty much the exact same clothes, and she's Australian, and we just start talking, talking, and it's not until she passed around the clipboard, because we had to sign in, did I realise that her name was Rachael as well. So I'm thinking, okay, this is crazy. So I've got an Australian Rachael who's dressed the same sitting behind me. This is a connection, this is a sister, no worries. So afterwards we instantly connect, and long story short, we arrived in Cusco the same day, and she's here to work with medicine. Well, she's here to live, and up because she came here last year and she had a whole life change. And she goes, I know this amazing guy, and he works with San Pedro. And I'm thinking, okay, tell me more. And she showed me photos, and the actual retreat is called Ubuntu, and I really, really like that name, so that called out to me as well. So I thought, this is it. So me and Rach came here. It's in a small town past Pisac, so it's about an hour. Oh, it's about an hour and a half from Cusco. So we arrive here. I did not know what to expect. I just thought, just go with it. You've been invited by spirit. You've got confirmation through Rachael. You've got confirmation through the name. I looked at the guy, the shaman, if you will, the guy that conducts the ceremonies. His name's Bernard. And I got a good vibe, so I was like, all right, cool. And the place is, not to mention, just like stunning. And reasonably affordable, considering that there's lots of places out there that charge an arm and a leg. So anyway, I'll show you a photo of the cactus. So that's the cactus. The guys are cutting it up. Basically, from what I know, is that Bernard boils it. He boils it down and he extracts like the jelly, and it turns into kind of like a thick liquid, a thick green liquid. So my first ceremony was about 5 days ago, and we all sat in a circle, and Bernard called in the spirits and he called in protection, and then he passed around the cup. I was the last person to receive the cup, which was fine by me, and the other people were struggling to actually drink it. I, for the first time, didn't have a problem drinking. I actually liked the taste. It was very clean. It was like drinking aloe vera. It was really, really similar to aloe vera. And then we kind of just dispersed, or he sung some songs, and he got some smoke, and he blessed the area, and he said, blessings to you all, and enjoy your journey. So he took a blanket, and you find your own spot on the grass. So I found my little spot and I'm just chilling, and I kind of feel a little bit nauseous. I'm like, ugh. And after a while, maybe like 2 hours, I just kind of felt like high, like, you know, when you smoke a little bit of weed and it's like you're just hungry. And I was just imagining food. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I just want food. And you're not allowed to eat until I think like 4 hours in, and you're not allowed to drink any water until about 4 hours in. So I'm like, oh, so I'm thinking, God, this is lame. This whole plant medicine thing is just an excuse for hippies to get together and have a trip. Like, this is not cool. Instant judgment. And then all of a sudden I was struck, like boom, I was struck with an immense amount of pain coming through my body, and I was crunched over, wailing in pain, and I was on a riverbed with stones and a river. And I was an Indian, a First Nation Native American Indian, and I'd lost my baby. I had a miscarriage on the river, and all this feeling of hurt, pain, and just a broken heart, and I was wailing like, ah. So Bernard comes over and he goes, oh, Rachael, where are you? What's happening? And I said, I'm on a river. And he goes, okay, tell me about the river. And he goes, did you have a miscarriage? He just knew. And I said, yeah, I had a miscarriage. And he said, okay, is the soul with you? I could feel the soul. His name's Riley. And Riley was with me, and hugely with me. And then I was shown flashes that it's not the first time I lost him. It's not the first time I had a miscarriage. I'd had a miscarriage several times in that life and in other lives as an Indian. And also, if I did give birth to the same soul, I'm just going to call him Riley because that's his name in this life, when he'll come through, because he's going to come through again. I'd actually lost him at different ages. So I lost him when he was 6. He drowned in the river. I lost him when he was, I think, 16 or 17 in a battle. So I'd lost him in multiple lives, and I had to figure out what is the medicine trying to tell me? What lesson am I needing to learn from this? So I was just in pain for about 2 hours, just crying, like my beautiful, beautiful babies, just oh. And then my kindred spirit, the man that I was with, was supporting me. I could feel his energy. But in this past life regression, if you will, it was understood that by Indian law, if you couldn't give birth, then your partner could seek out another woman so he could carry on his generations, his genes. So the other aspect of the pain was watching the man that I loved have babies with another woman and raise them. And we had that connection. We always knew that we wanted to have babies together, but it wasn't anything personal. It was just the law, like that was just understood. And then later on, through the plant medicine journey, around about 5 hours in, I got another message, and it was, everything that you experience goes into the river. It goes into the river of life. Life is, you're going to experience severe pain, but everything the river takes, it will bring. It brings life. It brings happiness. It brings love. So I was informed by Spirit to always make an offering to the river, any river. So if I cross the river, always make an offering, because I've had lots of time with that river. Also, then I was the lady that if other women in the tribe had miscarriages or if they lost children, it was my job to take them down to the river and to let them cry into the river. It was really important to let their tears to drop into the river. I also got an insight to other family members. So I actually saw my mum there. My grandfather was my brother in this life. My mum was my sister, but we were 15 years gap difference. And I also saw my nana and my 2 uncles. So they were amongst the tribe, which gave me an amazing insight actually to the family dynamics. It wasn't the main focus. The main focus was my pain and my loss and everything like that, and my relationship with that soul that just keeps coming through. So that was that. So that was my first day. It was pretty hardcore. So then the next day we had a break. So you can just kind of reflect. And I went down, there's actually a river nearby here, and I went down to the river and I kind of just I gave the river a ceremony. I lit some leaves and I just said thank you, thank you. I blessed the river and I accepted. I just accepted that by losing my children and by having my son go in different stages of his life, I've got to let that go and I've got to accept it and I've got to send it love, because I can't afford to carry that energy in this life. Otherwise I'll manifest it. And we don't have time to manifest miscarriages, right? So I had a day break. The next day, it was harder to drink the medicine. It was like, I actually saw the cup coming and I felt physically, I was like, oh no. But I got it down and it was just like, oh, even thinking about it now, it kind of makes me sick. But it's beautiful. Like Bernard does a very, very good job with his medicine. So I drank it and then I'm on the lawn and again, kind of 2 hours in, I was struck with immense pain right there. And I was like, oh, just like screaming. And Bernard comes over, he's like, what's happening, Rachel? And I'll tell you what happened. I went back to that Indian life. Same area, but I was a man. I was a boy. I was a young, attractive, agile, bit of a smartass boy. And I felt about 16. And what I'd done, I'd actually slept with my brother's woman. But in the thing, it was like I slept with his wolf. It was like a wolf, but it was a woman. But I think we just called them wolves. So I'd slept with her, and I was feeling, and it was the next day, and I was on my horse in the river, in the shallow river, and I was kind of strutting around. My brother shot an arrow right into my neck and in my shoulder, like right there. And I fell off my horse. And I'm experiencing all this physical pain whilst I'm going through this this journey. And I remember looking up and seeing the arrow, and it had the same feathers of our tribe, so I knew it was one of my tribes, and I had the feeling it was my brother. And I'm screaming and I'm like, and actually in real life I'm like, you bastard, you bastard, you bastard. Just like, I couldn't help myself, it was just coming out. And he walks over and he said to me, you have too much pride and not enough respect. You've got no respect. And I said, just take it out, please, please, just take it out, please, just take it out. And he put his foot on top of the arrow and he said, this is what respect feels like. And he pushed it. He pushed the arrow further into my neck. And when that happened in real life, I was just like, like screaming. I mean, other people probably thought I was a raging nutcase, but hey, whatever. It was uncontrollable. And Bernard was there and he was like blowing tobacco into the wound and he's like trying to lift the energy. So we call those energy structures. It's like a structure. So it's like a physical structure your body's maintained from a past life trauma. So that's basically what the medicine was trying to undo. It was trying to undo these structures. So anyway, my brother eventually pulls out the arrow and I'm unconscious, and he takes me back to the tribe and he tells everyone what I did. And my father, our father, who was high up there, I'm not sure if he was the chief, but he was high up there. I kind of looked at him and I was like, Dad, help me. And he said, no, you're lucky you weren't killed, because I would have killed you. I wouldn't have had this much grace. So I was trying to learn the lesson, and the lesson that kept coming through strong was too much pride, not enough respect. Too much pride, not enough respect. And then it kind of went into, this is what too much pride is. And I was surrounded with these wolves, and that's the pride. It's like walking in that pack, thinking you're all that. But the respect is what got you there. The lineage that got you there. The hands that fed you that got you there. The people. Every ounce of help and assistance to get you to that point. That is respect. Okay? Understanding that and bowing down to that, that's respect. Pride is taking all of that and then kind of claiming it like it's yours and not paying those people the respect that's due to them. So I went into that, And then respect was, so I was named after that. I was named No Neck. So I was given a new name and it was No Neck. No neck is no respect, because the neck holds up the face. The face is the pride. The neck is respect. Without the neck, the face is nothing. And all people look at is the face and go, oh, wow, pride, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the neck, like, where did you come from? What did you have to do? What mud did you have to roll through to get where you are? Know that and respect that. So these lessons kept coming through hard, loud, and clear. And then it was understood by the tribe that it was my brother's job to bring me the medicine for my wounds. And my brother was slow to bring the medicine. He dropped it in the river on purpose. Sometimes he just never brought it because he wanted me to learn this lesson. And whilst he was dropping the medicine, in my physical state in real life, I was still kind of like, gosh, this is a bit harsh, like still not getting the lesson, even in this life. And then I understood that I didn't respect my brother and I didn't respect where I came from. And even if his wife or his woman was flirting with me, like, I should have had respect and known that that's not my place. But instead I had too much pride and I went for it. So I was named No Neck, and it was my job then in the tribe to teach the adolescents that were getting out of control what respect is. So I would actually take them and I'd tell them my story, and I'd tell them about the neck, and I'd tell them about the face, and I would teach these lessons that were implemented to me when I was a young man. So that was that life, and the pain on that ceremony went on for like 8 hours. I was just like, like in so much pain. Then I had a day break. And then my third one, drinking the medicine, was nearby impossible. It was just like gag worthy. And then I went into the lawn and I kind of thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if I'll go back into an Indian life. Who knows? But I went into a Polynesian life. I was in Hawaii and I was looking for certain roots, and I ate a plant that the roots were different, and I poisoned myself by accident. And my uncle just kept saying, like, he was so angry at me because he's like, I have taught you since you were 4 years old. You are now dying because you didn't pay attention to the roots. So the lesson was pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. And he was so angry at me. He's just like, I've given you all my wisdom. I've given you everything. And because you won't pay attention, now you're going to die. So I died in that life, and I'm like, in real life, I'm like coughing and I'm like spitting, and I'm like, I could feel the poison going through my body, and it was just like so horrible. I'm like shaking like this. And then the second life flashed through, and I was in Papua New Guinea. Same kind of thing. I ate a fish that was poisonous, and how you could tell was how many certain spots it was on its tail, and I didn't count properly. And again, I was semi-conscious. I was dying, and they were putting me onto this bamboo raft. And my uncle, I think it was my father, an older figure, just said, what a waste of life, what a waste of material, all because this guy didn't pay attention. Like, he's an idiot, you know. And then the third one was, I was a king in Hawaii, and I was poisoned. And I'm on the floor dying. And the man that poisoned me came over, and he said, this is what it's like to be man. This is what it's like to be man. And then I got this flash of the whole human race lined up, and the message came through, I am man, I am man, I am man, I am man. Any pain that's happening, I am man. Any joy that's happening, I am man. So the lesson was, pay attention, this is what it's like to be man, and know that you are man. There's no separation, there's no poor, rich, hurt, big, small, happy. It's all one. So that's going to be an amazing perspective tool for me with judgment. So if I see something and I'm feeling like resistance or judgment, I'm just going to keep telling myself, I am man. I'm that person. So Bernard said also that it was a good lesson to let go and just to accept. And when we don't accept, it feels like you're being poisoned. And when you don't accept, it feels like so much resistance that you're in physical pain. So those were my 3 ceremonies. And I'm feeling pretty good. They're hard work. They're difficult. Some people just have kind of everyone has different experiences. Some people have a very, very relaxed experience where they kind of just get messages from the flowers, or they kind of watch the clouds and things like that. Whereas my journeys were quite physical and they were quite full on. I'm definitely done at 3. I'm happy now. I'm just like, yep, cool, awesome. I'm going to integrate these lessons. And if I feel the need to ever work with this medicine again, I shall. But I highly suggest San Pedro for everyone. So if you have any curiosity, I hope this video helped you guys out. And I'll be making more videos, just kind of posting my experiences and my journey, just so I can share it with you guys. And if I can help any of you or give you some ounce of perspective or an insight, then awesome. That's great. So yeah, have the best day ever, and I love you, and I am man, so I am you, and you're beautiful.